Today's tech news moves fast, but understanding it shouldn't be hard. That's why Snarful Solutions Group brings you Connecting the Dots, where we break down what's happening in tech and why it matters to you. Now, let's dive in with your hosts.
Welcome back to Connecting the Dots. I'm Alex.
And I'm Morgan. Great to be here helping you connect those dots in the tech world.
Absolutely. Today is Monday, June 30th, 2025, and we've got some interesting developments to unpack.
We do indeed. But first, let's get a quick feel for what's happening outside. Here in Sacramento, it's pretty much what you'd expect. Sunny, heading for a high of 94 degrees.
Classic summer day here. Nationally, though, keep an eye on that heat building up, especially in the Intermountain West and the Southwest.
Right, and that means increased fire weather concerns. We're talking potential lightning, gusty winds, particularly an issue for Oregon and Northern California today.
Yeah, definitely something to watch. And on the flip side,
well, there's also a risk of flash flooding. Looks like parts of Arizona, West Texas, and even into the southern and central plains could see some slow-moving thunderstorms causing trouble. So, stay aware.
good advice. Okay, let's shift gears to the markets. Looking back at Friday, June 27th, things ended on a pretty positive note.
Yeah, they did. The Dow Jones closed at 43,819.27. That was up, over 300 points for the day?
That's right, plus 313 points, or 0.72%. And the whole week was strong, up almost 4%.
Pretty impressive. And the S&P 500 followed suit. It closed Friday at 6,173.07.
Also up about 0.36% on the day and gained over 3.4% for the week. Seems like decent momentum there.
Mm-hmm. Now, fast forward to today, Monday the 30th, and looking at Bitcoin, a little bit of a different story, maybe?
A slight pullback, yeah. It opened around 108,380 and closed near 107,641, so down about $740 or 0.68%.
Okay, a bit of a dip today, but for the week, looking back to last Monday,
still up. It gained almost 2% over the week, about $2,000. So, still holding relatively firm despite the daily ups and downs.
Interesting. Okay, and before we get to the main tech stories, the Giants.
Yeah. Not the result we wanted yesterday, unfortunately. Lost 2-5 against the White Sox there on June 29th.
Oof. Yeah, Tyler Gilbert got the win for Chicago. And their guy, Mike Tauchman, had a day. Went 3 for 4.
Yeah, just wasn't our game. We'll bounce back, though.
Always next time. Okay, let's pivot from the baseball diamond to the digital world. Time for our Morningstar report, where we break down the tech news you need to know.
First up, a name most of us probably use every single day, Spotify. Big news they're tweaking Discover Weekly after, 10 years?
10 years. It's kind of amazing how influential that playlist has become. Think about it, over 100 billion streams generated just from Discover Weekly.
That's incredible. It really did feel like magic when it launched, like it just knew what you wanted to hear next.
It did. But, over time, you hear people say it. Maybe it got a little predictable, or sometimes the genres felt a bit off.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Like it started serving up songs you already knew or things that didn't quite fit the vibe.
Exactly. So Spotify says they've been working on that, updated the genre classification and the recommendation engine behind it.
Okay, so improvements under the hood. What about for us, the users? Anything new we'll actually see?
Yes, definitely. For premium subscribers, they're adding genre filters right at the top of the playlist.
Oh, interesting. So you can kind of nudge it like, hey, this week I'm feeling more R&B or give me some funk.
Precisely. More control for the user to fine-tune those recommendations, plus a bit of a visual refresh, new cover art styles.
Makes sense. Keep it fresh. But there's a business angle here too, isn't there? It's not just about making users happy.
Right. This is where it connects to the broader strategy. Alongside these user updates, Spotify is opening up Discover Weekly for sponsorship, specifically on the free tier.
Okay. So ads are coming to Discover Weekly if you're not paying.
Looks like it. Microsoft is actually the first sponsor running their Empowering Us All AI campaign.
So expect to see Microsoft's logo or maybe hear specific ad breaks if you're a free listener diving into your Discover Weekly. Why would advertisers be keen on this?
Well, think about how personal that playlist is. It's tailored just for you. And Spotify's data shows that people who listen to Discover Weekly regularly, they stream more than double the music compared to users who don't engage with it.
Wow, double. That's a seriously engaged audience.
Exactly. Highly engaged, likely receptive. So advertisers see it as a prime spot. They can place their brand logo, run audio ads during breaks, even do homepage takeovers related to the playlist.
And this fits into Spotify needing new revenue streams, right? Because their average revenue per user ARPU have been a bit tricky sometimes.
That's a key part of it. They need ways to make money beyond just hoping free users upgrade to premium, especially with different subscription tiers and market pressures. High-value advertising slots like sponsoring Discover Weekly are a way to do that.
So it's this balance, enhancing a beloved feature while also finding ways to, well, make money from it.
It's the platform evolution playbook, really. Personalization becomes a valuable commodity for advertisers. We'll see how users react.
As long as the ads aren't too jarring, maybe it works.
Okay.
Let's move to our second story. This one involves AI, but in a very practical, maybe unexpected setting, healthcare.
Yeah, this is really interesting. A company based in Stockholm called Tandem Health just pulled in a huge Series A funding round, $50 million.
$50 million. That's serious cash. What exactly are they building with it? What's this AI medical co-pilot?
So think of it like an incredibly smart medical scribe powered by AI. During a patient visit, it listens in and automatically drafts the clinical notes.
Okay, so it handles the documentation part of the visit.
Exactly. The goal is to be a clinician co-pilot, taking that huge administrative burden off the doctor's shoulders so they can focus purely on the patient in front of them.
That sounds like it could be a massive help. We always hear about doctor burnout, and paperwork is a huge piece of that puzzle.
It really is.
Yeah.
Studies show doctors can spend up to 40% of their time just on admin tasks. Tandem Health believes their AI can give doctors back maybe 1 to 2 hours every day.
1 or 2 hours back. That's significant.
Hugely. In their trials, half the users reported saving 60% of their documentation time. And we know documentation is a top stressor for 60% of clinicians. There's even an anecdote about one GP reducing note time from 15 minutes per patient down to under 5.
Wow. 15 down to 5. That's a lot more efficient. So what's the upside for patients, for us?
Well, multiple things. First, if your doctor isn't frantically trying to type notes while talking to you, they can give you more focused attention. That potentially means better quality care, better communication.
Makes sense. More face-to-face time, less screen time for the doctor.
Right. Plus, accurate and complete notes are crucial for reducing medical errors. And system-wide. If doctors are more efficient, that could free up time for thousands more appointments, potentially improving access to care for everyone.
And does it work with the existing systems hospitals use?
Yeah, that's key. It's designed to integrate with the electronic health record, or EHR, systems that are already in place. So no clunky manual transfer of information.
This really feels like a prime example of AI helping humans, not replacing them. Taking over the tedious stuff so the expert can focus on the critical thinking and human interaction.
That's exactly the narrative. It's augmentation. And Tandem isn't alone in this space, There are others like Corti and Nabla doing similar things, but sometimes with different philosophies.
Oh, different approaches.
Yeah, for instance, Corti makes a point of not having in-house medical experts directly involved in building some of their core AI models. Their CTO argues it helps avoid introducing human bias early on, letting the AI learn more objectively from data.
Huh. That's an interesting take. Let the AI figure it out without preconceived medical notions baked in from the start.
Sort of, yeah. Whereas a company like Nabla does use medical experts and builds on existing large language models like GPT-3. So different paths to potentially similar results. It just shows the field is exploring various ways to build these tools effectively and ethically.
And it probably signals a shift in how healthcare views AI, right?
Yeah.
From maybe fear of job losses initially to seeing it as a valuable assistant.
I think that's definitely happening. The focus is shifting to efficiency, reducing burnout, and improving patient outcomes.
Anyone who's ever felt buried in paperwork can probably see the appeal here. An AI assistant that just handles the notes. Sounds pretty good.
It really does. Okay, for our third story, we're sticking with critical infrastructure, but moving towards cybersecurity and the world of remote work. Let's talk about Cato Networks.
Right. This is a company that's become really relevant with the shift to hybrid and remote work models based in Tel Aviv, and they just raised a huge funding round.
Huge is right. A $359 million Series G. That values the company at over $4.8 billion now.
Wow. And that brings their total funding to over $1 billion.
Over $1 billion, yes. It really speaks volumes about the demand for what they do, which is essentially securing workforces that aren't all sitting in one office anymore.
Which is the reality for so many businesses now. The old ways of securing networks, with everyone inside the castle walls, just don't work as well when people are everywhere.
Exactly. That old model is complex, it's expensive, and it creates security gaps. Cato tackles this head on. They combine several key things: software-defined networking, SD-WAN, cybersecurity services, a global network backbone into one cloud-based package.
And that package has a name, right? SASE.
SASE, yeah. Secure Access Service Edge. It's kind of the industry term for this integrated cloud-first approach to network security. Think of it like Cato creating a secure private mesh network in the cloud that employees can connect to safely from anywhere.
So instead of IT teams juggling 10 different security boxes and VPNs, they get this unified platform. That must simplify things dramatically.
That's the core idea. Simplify operations, improve security posture, and they lean heavily on AI to do it.
How so? Where does the AI come in?
Well, for one, they use AI to process threat intelligence feeds automatically. We're talking over 250 different feeds. The AI sorts through it all, figures out what's relevant, and updates blacklists across their entire network every 4 hours. No human needed for that part.
Okay, so constant automated threat updates. What else?
They also use deep learning for actual threat prevention, like identifying malicious websites used in phishing attacks, even if they're brand new, by analyzing patterns. It's proactive defense.
That sounds pretty sophisticated, almost like an immune system for the company's network. Given all that, they must be protecting a lot of users.
They are. The numbers are pretty big. Around 670,000 remote users currently across more than 1,900 businesses.
And they've hit some major financial milestones, too.
Yeah, they crossed the $100 million mark in annual recurring revenue, which is a big benchmark for SaaS companies. It really underscores that boom in SD-WAN and SASE technology, especially after the pandemic, forced everyone to figure out remote work security fast.
It's also worth noting the person behind Cato Networks, right? Shlomo Kramer. He's got quite the track record in cybersecurity.
He really does. Co-founded Checkpoint, co-founded Imperva. I mean, those are giants in the security space. So he definitely knows this landscape inside and out. There's even talk, unsurprisingly, about a potential IPO down the line for Cato.
With that kind of backing and growth, you can see why. It really highlights how critical this kind of seamless, robust security is for businesses today. It's not just an IT issue, it's fundamental to how work gets done.
Absolutely. It moves security from being a roadblock to being an enabler for flexible, modern work. Less complexity, lower risk, reduced cost. That's a trifecta they're aiming for.
So the big picture is that whether you're working from home, the office, or a coffee shop, companies like Cato are building the invisible infrastructure to keep business data safe and accessible. It makes things easier for IT and, hopefully, less frustrating for the rest of us.
Exactly. Making security effective without making it a constant headache.
All right, so that wraps up our Morning Star report for today. We covered Spotify, making Discover Weekly even more personal, and figuring out how to monetize it.
We looked at Tandem Health and its AI co-pilot aiming to slash doctor paperwork and maybe even improve healthcare access.
And we saw how Cato Networks is using cloud tech and AI to secure the massive shift towards remote and hybrid workforces.
3 really different stories, but they all show how technology is weaving itself deeper into our work, our health, and even our leisure time. They connect the dots between innovation and everyday experience.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? As these smart systems take over more tasks, what does that free us humans up to do differently? What new skills become important?
That's the big question, isn't it? How do we best partner with these increasingly capable technologies?
Definitely something to keep pondering. We're here to help at Snarful, so reach out on our website if you have any more questions.
That's a wrap on today's top stories. Remember, tech doesn't have to be complicated, and we're here to help connect the dots. If you've got questions or want to learn more, visit us at snarful.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.